Let's start.
Rohan?
Am I audible?
Yes, Rohan, you are audible.
Thank you. Good evening to one and all present here. I, Rohan Verma, from Batch 2026, would like to welcome you to the third episode of the guest lecture series of CONVERSAMINI The Discussion Isle.
Rohan, wait.
Excuse me. Wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Wait for 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
कुछ और हमारे वहाँ के तरफ नोट्स रखे हैं दिल्ली का नहीं. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sorry, मेरा arbitration चल रहा था, तो इसलिए उसमें डिले हो गई, ऑर्डर लिखाने में डिले हो गई 10-5 मिनट. Sorry.
No issues, sir. No issues.
It's okay, sir. So, shall we start?
Yes.
Rohan?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. I, Rohan Verma, from Batch 2026, would like to welcome you to the third episode of the guest lecture series of CONVERSAMINI The Discussion Isle. CONVERSAMINI is a student-led initiative. The objective of this series is to help students to figure out their way through law school. The lecture series aims to provide a glimpse about the curriculum and to enhance their skills necessary to survive in a law school. As we all know, November 26 is celebrated as Constitution Day. Today, this webinar has been organized by the team to celebrate the Constitution Day, which has been titled as Significance of the Constitutional Values. The event will commence with the address from our keynote speaker, Hon'ble Justice Rajesh Tandon. Further, it would be followed by question-answer session. Now, I request Nancy to introduce our esteemed guest, Hon'ble Justice Rajesh Tandon. Over to you, Nancy.
Thank you, Rohan. Am I audible?
Yes, Nancy.
Yes.
Good evening to everybody present here. I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker of the day, Honorable Justice Shri Rajesh Tandon. Honorable Justice Rajesh Tandon is the former judge of Nainital High Court, Uttarakhand. Their Lordship started his career as a practicing advocate in 1968. He has served as the Additional Advocate General of Uttarakhand after bifurcation of the state in September 2002. Subsequently, their Lordship was appointed as the Justice of Uttarakhand High Court by the President of India. He has been one of the most active judges of the bench and holds expertise in cyber laws, but not limited to it. After retirement, he has held numerous positions under the Constitution of India. A few of them are former chairperson, Cyber Appellate Tribunal, Government of India, former member, Human Rights Commission, Uttarakhand, former chairman, Uttarakhand State Law Commission. Justice Tandon has been honored UP State Intellectuals Honor UP Latin. He has authored 4 books of law and has been awarded the prestigious Sahitya Puraskar on his famous book, Muslim Vidhi, by the Uttar Pradesh government. We are immensely honored to have you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, who is speaking? Myself or somebody else?
Sir, the introduction part is done. Now it's over to you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. I congratulate you all. You are the large students. You are the pillars of the society. And nowadays, the importance of fundamental rights, importance of information technology, information of human rights has increased day by day, day by day. 26th of November is famous for that, the Constitution of India. When the Constitution of India was formed, that is on 26th of November 1950. Now, human rights has come up after decades. That is in 1993, although a seed was in the year 1966 when in the United Nations the conference has taken place, and human rights India was one of the signatory in the human rights. And after the Second World War, the human rights came into operation in all the states. I was also a judge of the human rights. But in 1993, it has developed in India protection of human rights. In the name of protection of human rights was formed. Now I'll let you know what is human rights and what is at par with constitutional aspects of the matter. If we look to the definition of the human rights, why I emphasize on the human rights section 2D, because it is at par with constitutional rights. Human rights means the rights relating to life, liberty, equality, and dignity of the individual. Now, 2D has incorporated an additional word, dignity. Then, human rights means the rights relating to life, liberty, equality, and dignity of the individual guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the international covenants and enforceable by courts of India. Now, if you look to the definition of section 2D, you will find that it is at par with Article 21 with regard to the relating to life, liberty, and equality. That is right from Article 14, 19, 21, all are included. Then dignity has been added because dignity is an aspect of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. If you look to Article 21 of the Constitution of India, that is, no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. Then life and liberty are analogous to section 2D of the human rights, and dignity is an outcome of Article 21 and section 2D of the human rights. Dignity is the paramount in the case of judgment of 2003 Supreme Court, in Kapila Hingorani's case, you all note down, that is the judgment of Kapila Hingorani. In that judgment, Justice S.B. Sinha has narrated the entire aspects of human rights, what is dignity, and how it is an outcome with the constitutional aspects of the matter. Then 2D further says, guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the international covenants and enforceable by courts in India. What is international covenants? Anybody knows that? Nobody knows. You are students of which semester, which class? Second year, third year?
Sir, the students are from first years as well as second years.
First year, okay. Then human rights syllabus has not come. Embodied in the international covenants and enforceable by courts in India. International covenants are, that is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights was enforced in 1966. It was passed in 1966, and we used to observe as 10th of December, that was the date when it has come into force. We used to observe at 10th of December as a National Human Rights Day. On 10th of December 1966, we have observed and we have declared a Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And in that human rights, there is a complete code of Article 21, 2D of the Constitution of India. And all this goes to show that how much a liberty and dignity is important for an individual. That depicts Article 21 also, that depicts Article 19 also, and Article 14 also. Then the International Covenant has further been defined under the Protection of Human Rights Act, means the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, that is your rights, that is relating to civil rights, that is political rights, and International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations on 16 December 1966. And such covenant or convention adopted by the General Assembly of United Nations as the central government made by notification specifying. Now this has come into force on 16 December 1966, but it was passed on 10th of December 1966, and that is why we observe as National Human Rights Day. Therefore, what I mean to say, that right to life, liberty and dignity, these three things are very important nowadays, and Article 21 leads to all that, and all the decisions of the Supreme Court taking into consideration either the judgment of the Khadak Singh's case, either the judgment of the Kapila Hingorani or Maneka Gandhi, or goes to Article 21 of the Constitution of India. And therefore, my suggestions to the students that all these judgments should be on your tips, because these are the fundamental rights, and that leads to the Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Now let us come to 26th of January 1950. The Constitution came into effect on 26th January 1950. And since then, this day is celebrated as a Republic Day every year. The Constituent Assembly began to prepare the Constitution on 9th of December 1946, when we get liberty. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as its president on 11th of December 1946. Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar was the chairman of drafting committee. The Constituent Assembly met for 166 days, spread over a period of 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. The making of the Constitution was completed on 26th November 1949. And the Constituent Assembly adopted the draft Constitution of India. The Constitution of India defines all aspects of the Indian political system, including its basic objectives. It has provisions regarding the territories that India will comprise, citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, and fundamental rights. Nowadays, these two distinctions, that is fundamental rights and state policy and fundamental duties, directive principles, both are combined to each other, because directive principles are contained from Article 31 to 43. All goes to your fundamental rights. Your duties are defined under Article 51 of the Constitution of India. That also goes for a fundamental right. Therefore, the constitutional aspect has defined territories of India, citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy and fundamental duties, structure and functioning of government at union, state, and local levels, and three bifurcations. Structure and functioning of the government are so that the state shall be executive body, then local bodies, then judiciary, all have importance of the day. Then the Constitution defines sovereign, democratic, socialist, and secular republic. We are democratic, that is, elections are held every year, every 5 years. Then democratic means everybody has to cast vote, and therefore constitutional values are reflected right from Article 14 to 21, where we have got fundamental rights. And now we are coming to democracy. What is democracy? The preamble reflects democracy as a value, as a form of government. It derives its authority from the will, and also will of the people. The people elect the rulers of the country, and the elected representatives remain accountable to the people. This is democracy. Democracy contributes to stability, continuous progress in the society, and it secures peaceful political change. Now, if we look to for the students, once upon a Lord Denning has said that what is the law? The law is that everybody has to, according to the society, laws has to be enlarged. What society requires today? There was a time when CPC, Evidence Act, and CRPC were common. Nowadays, according to Lord Denning, everything has changed. Now for you, all the ingredients of the law are Human Rights Act, Arbitration Act, Information Technology Act, and IPR. These laws have come into force. Now everybody knows that this COVID-19 has given a birth to the information technology. Information technology, if you look to Section 4 of the Information Technology Act, now we have given birth to Section 4 during this COVID period. Section 4 provides legal recognition of electronic records. Everywhere, that is Supreme Court. In your seminar, I am sitting as a electronic records. Section 4 has been recognized by you and me. Am I right? Section 4, what is this? Legal recognition of electronic records, that is rendered or made available in an electronic form, accessible so as to be usable for a subsequent reference. That is electronic record is the via media, that is video conferencing. Even High Court, Supreme Court, everywhere we have seen that Section 4 has come into play. Then Section 6 provides of the Information Technology Act, use of electronic records and electronic signatures in government and other agencies. Now we are accustomed now for the digital signatures because we can't have the signatures once we act upon the video recording and all that. We have to use the digital signatures, and therefore this Information Technology Act has been given birth by the COVID-19 and all that. Now this information technology has also given a birth to various hackings. If you look right from Section 43, that is also punishable under the Information Technology Act, and right from 1966A, that is hacking, misidentification and all that, what is defined under Section 66. If you look to the provisions, because this is, although it has been recognized in your syllabus, but you have to study yourself. What is cyber crime? Nowadays, cyber crime is increasing day by day. And therefore, if you look to Section 66A, that is punishment for sending offensive messages through communication. Then 66B, punishment for dishonestly receiving stolen computer resource. Section 66C, that is punishment for identity theft. It is increased, it has increased much nowadays. Punishment for identity theft, that is one identity, daily you are receiving telephonic calls from the bank. मैं SBI से बोल रहा हूं, आपका क्रेडिट कार्ड में आपका जमा नहीं है पैसा, लिहाजा आप इतना पैसा जमा कर दीजिए. That is all fake. If you ask his identity, he could not say who is he speaking. Some name will be sent, but at the same time in your mobile, a message is coming from the banks. Don't respond to hawkers. They are only hawkers. Therefore, punishment for identity theft has become a very common nowadays. Whoever fraudulently or dishonestly make use of electronic signature, password, or any other unique identification feature of any other person shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, and shall also be liable to fine which may be extended to rupees 1 lakh. Now, whether these things are operative nowadays, because police officers are not accustomed to it. Day before yesterday, there was a conference of Sri Pawan Duggal, that is expert on cyber crimes. And my topic was of data theft and how to prevent data. Now, data theft has increased. This is a result of Section 66C. That is punishment of identity theft. Complete data is being stolen. Complete features are being stolen from your laptop and from mobile phones. Then Section 66C relates to punishment for violation of privacy. Whoever intentionally or knowingly captures, publishes, or transmits the image of a private area of any such person, you are looking at, that is the Vishakha case. Everybody knows that. That is punishment of privacy that is going on. That is also a punishment under the Indian Penal Code and also under the other provisions, that is the Information Technology Act has taken complete precautions of all that. Now, these are things you have to study apart from CPC, CRPC, and Evidence Act. All these are the features. If you look to the fundamental rights, what are your fundamental rights under the constitutional aspect of the matter? That is right to equality is Article 14 to 18. That is Maneka Gandhi's case. Right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. Right against exploitation. Right to freedom of religion, that is Article 25 to 28. Cultural education, educational rights. Now, educational rights are very important nowadays. The judgments of the judgment of Mohini Jain is there, and you will see that in the Mohini Jain Supreme Court has said that education is a part of Article 21 of the Constitution of India, and therefore the government is duty bound to get the education under Article 21A of the Constitution of India. The students are being provided free of cost the education and all that. Therefore, education is a part of Article 21 of the Constitution of India, and you have also to, that should be on the tips. That is, if one asks to you, you should say Mohini Jain's case, Islamic education's case, all these cases which goes to show that education is a fundamental right. Then right to property is Article 31, right to constitutional remedies under Article 32 of the Constitution of India. All these things are there. You have to be alert on your constitutional rights, that is right from Article 21, and human rights, which I have read before you, and right to move throughout the India, territory of India, that is the judgment of the Maneka Gandhi. All these things are there, and now you have to shift to the fundamental rights, human rights, and all that. And these are the prospects which you have to study in. Apart from your syllabus, you have to also to study on these laws, that is human rights, information technology, IPR, and all that. That should be on your tips. These are my blessings for the day, and let the Constitution of India should be like a Gita for you. We must give folded hands to the constitutional aspects of the matter. Whenever it comes, it is like a Gita, and we should observe a folded hands when the Constitution comes before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your insightful view, sir. Now I would like to invite Amisha Srivastava for the question moderation.
Thank you, Nancy. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. We are opening the chat box now if the audience has any questions. So the first question is, how Constitution reflects different notions of equality?
Constitution has reflected much. Life, liberty, equality, that is right to food, right to shelter, right to clean environment. That is the fundamental aspect of Article 21 of Constitution of India. If you look to the judgment of the Khadak Singh and also the Kapila Hingorani, in both the judgment it has been said that Article 21 provides a right to live in a good environment, right to shelter, and right to live. These are the constitutional aspects of the matter, and you should read the judgment of Kapila Hingorani. That will also describe the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. What is Declaration of Human Rights? These are the things that is environmental, good environmental, right to live, and right to food. Right to food has become a very common. In COVID-19, you have seen that the food was available. That is Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Yes. See it.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, you are an expert in cyber laws. So we would like to know how the development of technology, AI, and the new laws change the interpretation of the constitutional values.
Yes. The Information Technology Act, as I have already said, that during the COVID-19, it has come into operation because of this technology, that is video conferencing and all that. We have now become accustomed to this video conferencing. One, because at one time I have also completed my arbitration proceedings. I have now completed this your seminar without coming to your place, that is the Ambedkar University. These are the technology we are being benefited of the Information Technology Act, which I have read before you, Section 4, that is any electronic media that is under the Information Technology Act. If you look to the definition also of Section 2, that is which has been defined now, that is the Section 2 of the Information Technology Act, that provides data, a means representation of information, knowledge, facts, concepts, or instructions which are being prepared or have been prepared in a formalized manner and is intended to be processed in computer network, and maybe in any form including computer magnets or optical storage media, punch cards are stored internally in the memory of the computer. That is the origin of the Information Technology Act. That is the definition of data. Therefore, I request all of you to read this Information Technology Act by word. Every word is important of this Information Technology Act. Even cyber cafe has also been defined, which are being used for cheating another person. Am I wrong? Cheating another person. Cyber cafe means any facility from where access to the internet is offered by any person in the ordinary course of business to the members of the public. That has also been defined under the Information Technology Act. And I was in Delhi chairman of the Information Technology Act. I have seen how the crimes are being committed. You must have heard demat account. People used to send the money and withdraw the same, and all sorts of hacking, all sorts of fraudulent intention, every banking, all these things are going on, and that is the origin of the Information Technology Act. You have to be very alert for that. Apart from your studies, you must study both the things, Information Technology Act and also Human Rights Act, because human rights is your dignity, and Information Technology Act is the procedure which you have to be very careful for that. Yes.
The next question is how Apex Court can establish clear separation of power to ensure the independence of judiciary from executive?
That is a political question. Don't ask this.
Okay.
Why should I say for the Apex Court, High Court, they are doing their duties? Why should I say how they do it?
Okay,
That
sir.
is their jurisdiction.
Moving on. Sir, do you think that it is the time to change our constitutional values? If not permanently, then in some certain cases.
So that is being changed. Constitutional values are changed because we have to starve for the food. We have to starve for the good living. We have to starve for the environmental factor. You can't live in a dense locality where no environmental factor has been, no air, no light is there. Therefore, all these things you are alert. People have become alert, more and more alert. People have become alert for the food also. People have become alert for the lodging also. All these things are coming. That is a outcome of Article 21 of the Constitution.
Okay. Sir, so this is a question from one of our first year students. He asked that if someone wants to specialize in constitutional law, then what should he do in his college time?
Is he a first year student?
Yes, sir.
The constitution is in his syllabus or not?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet.
No, sir.
Okay. But he should study. I have from the very beginning, I have said this protection of human rights, that is section 2D, Declaration of Human Rights, Article 21, Khadak Singh's case, and the Kapila Hingorani's case are all the outcome of constitutional aspect of the matter. And therefore, he will become a mindful in the constitutional matter the moment he will study. The moment he should study, he should tell me after 2 months, 3 months that he has become a master in constitutional matter. Thank you. पता नहीं इसने नोट भी किया है, सबकी नहीं किया, मुझे नहीं मालूम. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एस्पेक्ट का मास्टर तो बनना चाहता है, लेकिन मेरी बातें सब नोट कर ली होंगी तो अच्छा है, नहीं कर ली होंगी तो फिर कभी फोन कर लेंगे, बता देंगे.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now I will ask Jaya to take over with the vote of thanks.
Yes, जया जी आइए, कहाँ है?
Am I perfectly audible?
जया जी की जय हो.
Yes, Jaya, you are audible.
Good evening to one and all. Thank you for joining the webinar. It has been a great success so far. I, Jaya Sharma, on behalf of the CONVERSAMINI, would like to extend a vote of thanks to our guest speaker, Hon'ble Justice Shri Rajesh Tandon, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your insightful views. I would also like to thank my team members for working closely to mark this event with success. Thank you, everyone, for making this webinar a success.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
चंडीगढ़.
Okay, thank you guys for joining. Thank you. The team will stay here for a bit.